I'm feeling very strangely emotional right now. I'm just afraid to show my process and show what I do. And I've always had this sort of feeling, you don't even know who I am. You don't even know who I am. Oh my gosh, my name is Haley. I'm the owner and the artist of the Pop-It Patch. I make things like this. So I make pet embroidery. I'm very good at it, and I've been doing it for about 2 years now, and I want to show you all how I do it. So I'm going to show you the drawing process from my tablet, which I have screencast onto my computer. I downloaded OBS, which if you're not YouTube savvy like I am, it seems to be a recording system. It seems to be made of electricity. So I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna do what I can. I'm excited actually to be taking this step. And the portrait I'm gonna be doing is of Penny, who is this dorky little doodle of some sort, or a sheepdog. I didn't ask, but she's super cute. And I'm gonna show you all how I am going to make this into a patch. It's gonna be a 4-inch patch, and I probably won't talk the whole time. I will have to concentrate a little bit. I think I locked. Good. I prefer to draw with my tablet vertical, so it's going to come up sideways for you, but it's kind of sideways for me too right now. So one of the first things I do if I'm starting a portrait like this, sometimes the foreground and the background blend into each other, so I want to make sure that I get all of Penny's ears and none of the background. I'm using a 10 pixel font. When you make pet patches, you have to be careful when you make patches in general, or at least how I do them. You want to keep the shape pretty smooth. And by smooth, you don't want to... I'll show this with an example someday, but if I were to actually follow this hair as it goes around, right about here, these turns, when the embroidery machine starts going, it makes those satin stitches. Hang on, I'm going to do a better example of this. I used to teach, so you'll get a lot of teaching in here. So I use a 10-point font. I'm looking at my tablet sideways, so I use a 10-point font when I draw this, but I just want to show you. So as it's embroidering, these are going to create satin stitches, which are like side-to-side stitches. And so while it's embroidering, it's going to go like this. And then the machine is going to turn around, and then it's going to turn around again. And what's going to happen is that it's going to do that a few times, the way that I make these stitches, and that's going to create a lot of problems with our machine. These stitches that are out here at the end are going to start to fray off. And they're going to fray over there too, and they're going to fray over there, and it's going to be a really, really thick embroidery there. And it just doesn't work. So I don't make sharp turns. You don't make sharp turns, like with driving. Oh, I didn't want to erase that much. Yes, I did. Alright, so I gotta get this back to 10-point font. I gotta turn my tablet sideways. 10 pixel. I always say point. I mean to say pixel. Eventually, I can hang this whole talking and drawing thing. I also forgot that I'm being recorded, so like, I'll not be surprised if I'm like, oh, digging for gold in my nose. I'm also very winded because I don't really exercise anymore. I would like to start exercising again more. I don't like being around that many people. I've gotten really socially awkward. Always was a little bit, but I've really been working on myself and like unmasking. And just understanding how much of a complete and total weirdo I actually am, and was never, like, I don't know, never really allowed to be how weird I am. There's something going on. We're always very well-behaved, quiet kids. I'm tired of being a quiet, well-behaved kid. Actually, no, I'm not, because I really can't afford to be arrested right now, so this is smooth enough for now. I find when I'm drawing, especially if it's been a while, so I haven't made patches in a while, but when I'm drawing, I need to just start and then go. Yeah, that's it. So I just need to keep going, and then I can adjust it as I go later and fix it. So this is our shape for now. If I was really confident about it, I would have was really confident about this. I would have erased the backgrounds. I would have gone through the background. I probably would have selected everything, and then I would have erased it so that all was left was whatever's inside the outline, but I haven't really decided on if I'm going to try to keep... Oh, I thought that was the edge of the portrait. No, I don't like that shape. I'll decide later. I'll probably change my mind later. It's fine. Man. Yeah. Ooh, hang on. Is it gonna play music? Nice. So I'm not trying to get arrested, but I do want to listen to my own music, so I have music in my headphones and a microphone over there. So for this first layer, I'm not terribly worried about... It seems like a dark photo. This dog is probably inside, so I'm gonna do this other color as a base for now. But this first layer, when I start drawing for... Ooh, this is gonna wrap around. Get distracted. The first layer, I always block out the colors in the first layer. I find with my style, I add a lot of details on top, and the thread tends to really pile on itself, and it pulls it apart and leaves a bunch of gaps, and so I like to err on the side of adding too much thread than not enough thread. Oh, I didn't know I could scroll on that. Oh, this will come in more handy for the next layers up. But the smallest, see, I told you I'd be messing with my nose. It's like, it's finally got sunny outside, and I have a ghost hair. You know when you get those hairs on your arms? Make it a little more transparent. And then I'm gonna start adding details on the upper layers. So the smallest, this is what I was trying to talk about, the smallest pixel size you can get is 6.2 pixels for a pen that are going to show up on SewArt. I like a lot of detail, so I add too much, but it's okay. I know this looks really bold right now, but I'm going to sew over them with layers on top before I'm done here. Oh, I forgot he even had eyeballs. You can see the, oh wow, look, he's got like a little whale eye going on here. So on this layer, I'm gonna put down, he's got very dark brown eyes, it looks like. And I am gonna cheat a little bit and turn that layer off. It's actually not bad. This is where I said I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'm going to copy that, paste it, just leave it there for now, but then I'm going to mirror it. Yes. Well, oh shoot. Okay, but really, on this layer, I feel like I need to ask him. Oh, there's this other dog in the background. I need to ask him for another photo of this dog, because it looks like, oh, hang on. He did. He sent me an entire Google Drive. I'm gonna send this image to Penny's dad and see, because some people like that's gonna be an off white color, but some people are like very particular about, all dogs have, at least to my understanding, like they'll produce like oxidation kind of gross colors like this, but like it's just more visible on white dogs. But But I always try to ask dog owners if they want that kind of like tear stain color. It's all up to preference. I can actually completely tone that down too. That was too much. Because I want to accurately represent your pet, but I don't want to like, ooh, your dog is gross and crusty. That's how they drew them. Like, but also like, it could be very characteristic of your pet to be a little crusty. So, yeah, that's the wrong color. I'm just testing you guys. I'm just trying to see if you're like picking up what I'm putting down, but what I'm putting down is just like some random lines that are probably in the wrong. I got a little hyper focused, but this is sort of what it looks like. These layers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers, I'm going to digitize only in SewArt, and then this top layer is going to be digitized using in Brilliance. So I can like really add in like the fine details that I want. There's not really much to say. I feel like many of you are going to be skeptical and wonder, how the heck is that going to turn into a patch? This chick can't draw. I know what I'm doing. You're gonna see when I'm done with it. You thought there was nothing there. You're wrong. So just pretend like you saw me email that entire portrait to myself. Let's go to SewArt. So I flew through this on the video, and I'm going to make this as an overlay. In order to do the auto digitizing in SewArt, it is super easy. But if you zoom in on here, I want to show you what the sides of these look like. When you send these pictures to yourself, even though when you draw it up on your tablet, there are only 6 separate colors, when you send it through a different USB or if you send it over email, as far as I understand it, it's like kind of scrambled, it's turned into soup as it's going into different data, and you get these different pixels of, like these very small pixels of different colors. So you have a bunch of different grays in there instead of just like the 3 different grays we had to begin with. So to remedy that, we're going to go into SewArt Processing Wizard, Image Processing Wizard. I usually, if it's a really simple color like this, I'll usually drop it to 64. And then you see the side-by-side image. What we are doing is, I think it's called rasterizing. I don't know what we're doing. We're just starting to merge colors. So it says now there are 64 colors as opposed to it had 255 colors. Now I got 63 colors. Let's take that down. I hit 10%. That takes it down to 15 colors. We're actually looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's a white background, so we need 5 colors. I do it a little bit at a time. So it says that we have 6 colors now. Hit that other 0.05%, and it says we have 5 colors. I'm gonna hit the Merge Colors button, and I'm gonna examine each color individually. And if I zoom in on this image,
see around the edges there are kind of like these little pixels that are just popping out by themselves. I don't think that those will really be a big issue. Oh, actually, yeah, they will. Look, let's click on this one. Ooh, you see these? These are what we call the speckles. We want to hit the despeckle or despeckle button, and it'll get rid of those for us. You do absolutely have to do this before you do the auto digitizing, because otherwise you will have to make 250 something thread changes, and that's not fun. We're gonna hit the stitch image button. I go up to applique centerline. I'm gonna change the height. That means how wide that patch border is, whatever. I did 42 in that video, so I'm gonna show you that here. Stitch length is how far apart those stitches are when they go side to side. I'm gonna make it 1 millimeter, so it's nice and dense. And then I'm just gonna click, it has this little needle, I'm just gonna click that on the blue outline. I'm gonna go back to fill, and then auto sew image. You can set transparent image, it's not really necessary. I'll just show you what it looks like if you sew all the colors. It's gonna sew, thank you, it's gonna sew that white background, and I don't need that. So I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna click where it says 2, which is that white color, and we don't need that, so I'm just gonna delete that bad boy. We don't need that anymore. Hit close. Do you want to save the embroidery file? Yeah, why not? Let's save that. I would save it as penny base, because that's gonna be my base layer. It's gonna save it as a Brother PES file, because I have a Brother machine. If you have a different kind of machine, I'm sure you can save it as a different file type. I've never checked because I've never needed it. I'm going to show you the next layer as well, just so you can see that practiced again, especially because this one is definitely going to have a few more speckles popping through here. So hit that wizard again. I take it down. It's only got a couple colors in there, so I'm going to hit 61 colors, 0.1%, takes us down to 16 colors. You can see in there, if you look closely, there's a bunch of speckles going on. 1.5% takes it down to 5 colors. We are looking for 3 colors, my friends. We are looking for 3 colors. That does say that it has 3 colors, but if you look in here, you can see those little white specks in there. We don't want those. Because you just don't want those. Okay, the real reason you don't want those is that it will... If it were like the black color here, so you see this little speckle right here, that little black speckle we just got rid of, it would make the machine run over to that spot and then sew one itty bitty little speckle, and it's a waste of your time. You don't need it, just get rid of it. Now we can hit the fill, auto sew, set transparent color. The white we do not need, so we're gonna hit that as transparent. I don't know why it's doubling up like that. I don't make the rules. It should be fine. I'm just gonna hit close, and then this is gonna be penny. I'm gonna save that as 2. So that'll be the second layer. Oop. And then, yes, you can save it as all sorts of different types. It looks like we got genome, whatever. Singer, Tajima, which is .dst, Melko Bamina, Viking, Faf, and Viking SE. I'm just gonna keep it as Brother. There we go. See, look, it's sewing out just fine. Yay! I may as well do the last 2. I'm gonna put it over top, because I do want to make sure that you see what I mean. Let's take it down to 64 colors. Hit that 0.1%. 1.56%. Final cleanup, and that's going to take us down to 6 or 7 colors. Let's make sure that is what we need. That looks about right. So let's zoom in on this picture a little bit here. You see, let me zoom in here. Ooh, you see that? You see those little, I don't know if you can see that. You see those little light brown speckles right there? If we were to leave those in, if we were to just sew these as is, let me just show you what it looks like if you were to just sew it as is. Let me zoom out a little bit. If if you were to just sew this bad boy as it is, let's put that applique on there, and then auto sew, still hit the white as the auto sew. Sorry, white as transparent. Okay. So we got that little bit, which was normal, that little bit, that little bit. Oh, interesting, so it didn't actually do it. Regardless, I don't trust it, so I'm gonna go through, and I think it's better to digitize twice and sew once. I don't know, that's not really a phrase, but I don't like those speckles hanging out in there, so I'm just gonna get rid of those, because it's a good habit. Just get rid of the speckles, you don't want them in there. I'm gonna hit the speckle on that too. It makes it smoother. Let me get rid of... See those two little speckles right there? If it's a bigger one, you can also cover it with the square and click on it. It'll help you get rid of them. You see there's a couple little speckles popping through there? Get rid of that bad boy. Oh, thank you. Oops. And then see how it took that chunk out of there? When I hit to speckle, it's not actually gonna take that whole chunk out of there. It's just kind of helping you clean up the edges. Okay, we're good. All right, now I feel comfortable sewing this out. Applique center line, sew that one, fill, auto sew, set transparent image. I'll be totally honest, this is really pretty much the extent that I have explored sew art. This is what I started doing and I ran with it and I never stopped. I don't know that I'm still going to use it. I think I might use it for some of my future patches, but I love the textures that I'm able to accomplish using Embrilliance a lot more than what I can accomplish here. If you are just starting out, and honestly, it was really good for me to use this. I didn't have Embrilliance until my second year embroidering, but this was, this was a really good way for me to just get art onto my machines. I do not regret it. Some of the patches I look at and I'm like, oh, you thought you ate with that, huh? And I did at the time. I really did at the time. I was crushing it, especially for having taught myself. I was absolutely crushing it. And now I look back and I'm like, a girl, honestly, that was a little fugly, but you do you, boo. You do you. And I get to say that because it's me. No, I'm super proud of everything I've accomplished. See how fast this goes once you figure that out? And then if you don't have Embrilliance and you only have sew art, all you gotta do is, well, I mean, you gotta save all of these files. So you'd have you'd have Penny Base, Penny 2, Penny 3, and then this is gonna be Penny 4. You would have to save all 4 of those embroidery files. So all 4 of these embroidery files to your flash drive. And then you would have to open up one of these files at a time and switch through all the threads one at a time. And it would end up being a ton of, and this is how I started it, it would end up being a ton of thread changes, but at the end of the day, you can make some gorgeous art. Like, even if I didn't have this top layer, I could still create a beautiful piece of art just with this really inexpensive, low barrier to entry program. You don't really need a big, expensive program. You don't need the $1,500 hatch or whatever. If you just want to get your art, if you just want to do some pet patches and just kick those bad boys out, this is not a bad way to go. Not at all. Okie dokie. And then that would be it. And then you could just do your fill, and then this one, again, I had put the pink as the background so that you could actually see the white stitches and the gray. We need that contrast. And then I would would save that as penny 5. And then I actually, how about, I think a good idea for me is to show you what happens. I don't want to speak too soon, but I do want to show you what happens if, as this sews out, I'm going to open up that last layer. I had drawn the fur as a much thinner pen than the 6.2 pixels for the other pen. And I want to show you what happens if I try to auto-digitize it on here. My hypothesis is that it's going to end up speckly. I don't know if this is a new version of SewArt. I hadn't updated my other one since 2020. So this is a newer version of SewArt. So I don't know if it's going to digitize this differently, but my feeling and my hypothesis is that it's not going to read this. So I don't know. We're going to see. It could. I don't know. Seems to be holding up. Seems like it was actually... Seems like it actually held up the integrity for that. Cool. Oh, hello. I don't like that that's connected, but I'm not gonna sew this out. I just have this here as an example. Yeah, so I guess maybe it doesn't have to be that small. I may have to mess around with that a little bit later then. Maybe their program got better. That'd be cool. Hey, that's a bonus then. If their program did get better, then that's still $75 well spent. Heck yeah, love that. That is showing up as 3 different grays. Where are those other 2 gray colors? Well, I guess they're by the ear. Penny 6. Cool beans. And then, so if you don't have Brilliance or another way to combine all of these files, you would just need to download all 6 of these files onto your flash drive and then open them one at a time. It would be tedious, and you don't need to sew the border every single time. In fact, you don't want to sew the border every single time, otherwise you will get some bird nesting going on, especially if you have I'm gonna say cheaper model. They're not cheap. Like $400 is not a joke. $400 is no joke of money to spend, but thank you, cat. But if your machine is like less than $1,000, you are gonna, oh, look at those speckles in there. I didn't speckle that. Look at that. You see that in there? Yuck. Anyway, the quality is just not gonna be as good of the machine, and it's not gonna have as much power, and you're more likely to bird nest. And that's all I got for today, friends.
Okay, one thing, so we're gonna get ready. Hang on, I gotta clean my camera. One of my biggest pieces of advice for when you're getting started to embroider, you check that your patches or whatever you're embroidering fit within the frame. They're gonna look great. Okay, but then you can do it on your computer or you can do it on the screen. I need to start tracking all the colors that I'm gonna put in here, and you can't really pick up on the colors too well, but I can see them in real life and what colors I need. So the first one is going to be a warm gray, but we're going to change that. But I do have that warm gray there. I have a brown, which is going to be for the eyes. That's my darkest. Yeah, so that color is called light black. That's going to stay there. And then I need actual black. Wake up. I need actual black and then a couple more grays. So I will go hunt those down. Okay, excuse the mess. I need to get all these colors before I get started. So I already have warm gray and dark gray on there already. I have dark brown on the machine already. And I don't have black on there yet, but I have those colors, so I'm gonna go get those. Alright, so I've got black. Let me go and scoot those in frame. I got black, which is gonna come up. Try to put them in order, help you stay straight. That's black. Maybe I put down gray and just wasn't thinking. Okay. I'm gonna need gray eventually, but I do need black. I already have dark gray. I need pewter. And put pewter right there. You guys can't even see this. Man. Told you this is my first YouTube. Anyways. Alright, we got black, pewter again, khaki, which I think I'm just gonna change that khaki. It had like the tear stains. I'm just gonna change it to gray. So those will go together. There's a lot of gray already. Pewter, white is already up there. I could have not taken the white down, but I guess we're gonna put in the white up. This really doesn't have that many different colors. They're really all the same colors repeating. So I guess we'll need to find 5 colors, and we're gonna go ahead and get. Oh, we're not gonna get started on that yet. Here's what we're gonna do while I forgot. So we need to measure out how much stabilizer we need. So hopefully I'm not blocking the light too badly. Then again, it's alright if y'all can't see for now. I'm figuring it out. So when I do my patches, I always use 3 sheets of this black stabilizer. My bet is that it's New Bro Thread. They tend to make really good stuff. I don't have any affiliate links, so I have on my website, I have a list of all the supplies that I think you need as a beginning embroiderer. I could have put that in a less satisfying way. So we got those ready. I'm gonna stick this on top because I'm holding it down. And then make sure they're all about even. It doesn't really matter. Stick them on the external frame. I don't know what it's called. The thingy that goes on the outside. I'm gonna stick that there. I'm gonna pull these up. So we want them to be. You see how there's a wrinkle there, a little bump? We don't want that. So we're gonna keep pulling on this until it's flat. Yay! Do it to the other side. Oh, I need to clean off my table. Okay, there's flat, even, flat. We don't want that frame slipping. I may have cut these a little bit too small, but that's okay. It'll be fine. It'll be alright. There we go. We want those all even. We're gonna tighten this. If you have a tightening tool somewhere, use that tightening tool. Which I don't. So, Jesus, take the wheel. Alright, we got our hooped. Hoop. Ooh, that made me laugh. Okay, we're done. Hear that? Hear that? That's nice and tight. We're ready to go. And we're ready to stop hearing me talk. And try not to get my feet in the frame. Make sure that both of your, make sure that these fit in there. I don't know what they're called. It doesn't matter. Make sure that they fit in there and they're snug. Not sure how this happened, but somehow this is like the best possible view. So let's do it.